Yes, good morning, class. Yes, class, please pay attention. Attend your roll call. Yes, 827. Eight,
सर जी प्रेजेंट है मैं
829,
मेरी बैटिंग है
830,
फर्स्ट हाँ पहले हम बैटिंग करेंगे बॉलिंग
हम तो जीत गए
हाँ बस फिर हमारी बैटिंग है
830, 32, 34, 37, Rajat Pathania, Rohit Sharma, Sandeep Kaur, and Bobby. Yes, class, I am audible. Please respond.
Sir, Sandeep present.
Yes, just hold on. Sandeep, you are present. Yes, already.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so coming back to the topic, I'm just going to share screen with you, and I hope you can see the syllabus, right? So yesterday we talked about the sensor node hardware. If you remember, we discussed about this thing, the modes and the programming challenges, right? Now we are going to see some of the software platforms which are more node level centric, means where we have more detailed information about the node, in which we are talking about the characteristics such as battery or such as bandwidth, right? So that means we are moving towards the node level, right? And all those programs which are associated with this type of service is basically known as node level software platforms, right? So in which we have different approach, right? Suppose we also have state centric, we have data centric, right? Similarly, we have this approach where we are considering that the actual parameters where that all computations are taking place, right? That plane need to be provided to the programmer, right? So what we are doing, we are maintaining the abstract view of that lower hardware configuration to the programmer, so that programmer is able to perform some kind of right actions. According to that, programmer could able to implement the concepts, the core concepts of wireless sensor network, right? So in this manner, we are saying that we need a node level software platforms, right? So in this category, we have one example. I just want to come to that part where you can see we have a very famous all-time simulator, that is your MATLAB, right? So I'm just starting with that MATLAB. and you will find that here we can perform such type of simulation in which nodes bandwidth or due to the energy consumption, right? We can able to change the property, right? And we can able to analyze the behavior of the node in the network, right? Just hold on. I hope you can see the screen now. This class. You can able to see? Yes.
Yes, sir.
So this is the workspace, right? Where you will write your script, and then you will compile it, and you will find the results or the execution over here, which is going to run. And in the end, you will find that we will have some kind of graphs where in which we will read the demography related to the concepts for which programmer is basically working for, right? So in order to enhance the network lifetime, in order to enhance the uh, bandwidth or the quality of service, or to find the shortest path so that the packet could able to reach to the destination with the shortest time duration, right? So these core concepts which we are talking about using this simulator, that is MATLAB, we could one could able to perform and can evaluate the performance, right? On the basis of that, they can have, and they have a analysis graph, and then you can compare that, like which protocol is better than other protocol, right? Or how the nodes are being consumed, uh, that nodes are consuming energy, right? And for how many time duration that node is retaining in a network, or the average network lifetime, right? So first of all, I just want to show you the simplest protocol is the leech protocol. That is a kind of TDMA MAC technique, right? So this is a kind of MAC protocol basically, and medium access control. So it is dealing with the node in the MAC level, where we can able to conserve the energy, and we will try to avoid the possibilities of collision in a sense of accessing the channel, right? So we need some mechanism for that. You remember, we have studied uh, different MAC techniques, right? So each protocol is one of them, right? So if you can see over here, the code part, right? So initially we have taken some assumptions, right, over here. And over here, what we are doing is we are defining the area, the dimension, the field, right? First of all. So this is talking about that we have uh, a sensing field of something around xm and xy, that is 100, right? So this is the maximum of this direction, as you can see, right? So suppose it is y, and this is talking about something 100, right? Like this way. So we can have the fraction over here, this initiating from the 0 to the maximum, it is taking all, right? And in this direction, we have this y, sorry, x, which is again talking about from this, right, point to this point, that is 100. So this is the maximum that is over here at this point. The value of x and y will be 100, 100, right? And in the center, you can find that this value, the center value, will be that x, y value will be how much? It is 50, 50. Right. So what we will do is we will try to fix our sink in the center with this coordinates, that is 50, 50. So this is our sink, suppose, right? So first of all, we have defined the axis over here, right? The area of operation, and you can see where the nodes are. We wish to deploy them, right? So nodes are deployed randomly, right? So there is no fixed deployment. This is the consideration that we will deploy the nodes randomly every time when we'll start this simulation, right? So next, what we have to find first, what we have to set is we have to set the node that is n. So n is set to 100. What it means we have defined a variable which is n, and it is talking about number of nodes or mode or sensors. These are the number of sensors, right, which we are which we want to deploy in our sensing field, right? So every sensor will have one unique ID, right? And with that ID, we can able to identify that sensor uniquely, right? So we are saying that this is 1, this is 2, like 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 7. And every sensor have some transmission range, as we have seen in the previous simulation in Quantity, where we have set the transmission range to 50 meters, right? Similarly, so this could be possible that a sensor node which is deployed in the corner could not able to reach to the sink directly, right? It could be possible, right? If this thing is, if this is the case, then please understand that not only this one, or it could be other nodes also, right? So what it is required, we need a routing technique, right? So with the help of the neighbor nodes, it is possible then, right? If we want to reach to the extreme corner, that or you can say if you are out of the range of your transmission, if a node is right out of the range of the transmission, then what is need to be done? We need to identify the neighbor, we need to set up a connection, or there could be another category where we can have cluster based routing code. Since we are talking about leech, right? So it is low energy adaptive cluster hierarchy routing protocol. So what it means, we are setting up a cluster. That means, so next what we need to do is that we are going to discuss that, okay, we have deployed the nodes, we have 100 nodes up to, right? Now, so suppose this is the 100 node, this is 99, 98, like this. And now what we want to do is we want to prepare a strategy where we are going to separate them with the some kind of clusters, virtual clusters, right? So this is one virtual cluster, this is another cluster, like this is a cluster, like this is one cluster, right? So you can see this is cluster 1 with cluster header. So this is the cluster coordinator or header. What it means, we have a cluster header which will basically retrieve the data from its member, right? So formation of cluster basically leads to have two different types of node inside that cluster. And what are those? One is cluster and other are the members of that clusters, right? So what it means that there could be, it means that we are thinking that we will maintain a leader which will retrieve the data from all the members, and then that cluster head can easily transmit the data to the sink. So this is the case with every cluster we have formed over here, right? Now suppose this is your cluster 1. Now in cluster 2 again, we are selecting or electing one cluster. So this is cluster head 2. Similarly, we have cluster head 3, we have cluster head 4 and 5, right? Depending upon the number of clusters you are designing, or or it is again proportional to the range, or we can see the dimensions that we are considering for X and Y. Now, if the dimension is very high, then the number of creating the possible cluster head will be higher, right? And in that sense, we have to maintain another kind of routing technique because otherwise the cluster head is far away from the sink, then again there is a need of inter-hop routing, right? So we can go with the inter-cluster routing. So cluster is, if it is not able to reach, now suppose if the dimension is much higher than 100 X and Y, suppose it is 200, 500 or 1000 meter, then you can see that sensor could not able to reach directly to the sink. Then what we need to do at that stage, what we will do is we maintain cluster to cluster routing, right? So the transmission cluster head will send it to the neighbor cluster head, right? And then in the manner it will reach to the sink. So this could be done, right? So next we are defining over here. Now in this case, it has taken the Y is 200. So means it will go, the sink is not in the center in this case, right? Because we have taken a different case scenario. Now over here, I'm just explaining that suppose sink is at 50-50. So what we need to do is that sink Y need to be 50, right? And sink X is already in 50. So it is in the center, that is X over here, that is 50, but Y is talking about 200. So where it will leads to, it will leads it to the moon. You can see over here like this. So it is not to or not inside, basically inside the sensor field. It is outside, and it is you can see far away, that is suppose if it is in meters, then it is 200 meters apart, right? So sink is far away from the center. So what we need to do now, these upper sensor node will become the transmitters, right? So now a different strategy or case study will be there for that, right? Now considering this thing only, what I'm doing is I'm just changing the value over here, coming back to our discussion, which is saying that now it is 50 and 50. So what it signifies that we have considered that sink is in the center of the sensor field, right? So this is where we have our sink. I'm just highlighting that part. You can see over here. This is your sink, right? Now, what we have done is initially the energy of the node is set to something, right? So we have set it to 2 unit in a joule. So every sensor node have some energy level in the beginning, and all have equal energy level. Since we are talking about homogeneous, right? Sensor nodes, as you have studied, we have 2 types of sensor node. We have homogeneous, we have heterogeneous, right? So in case of homogeneous, we are saying that the energy level is same. So how we are declaring over here that the energy value, the initial energy value will be 2 joule, right? And we are just defining that what is the unit or the consumption for transmission of packet. So energy for transmission is decided over here with this formula that we have, and then we are finding it. So we are trying to put this thing that after every round there is a consumption of some joule, means that sensor mode is in a action or in a transmission stage. So after transmission, as you know, what will happen? There will be a reduction in the energy level, right? So we have set it to the maximum, and we will find that in every round it will consume this much of energy. Suppose 0.1 joule of energy it will consume. So it depends upon now the chances for how many time or how many uh, uh, in how many rounds, right, that node will survive, right? So what will happen here is that in every round we are not going to select the same sensor node for transmission, right? There is a probability that that sensor node could be selected based on some kind of criteria, or you can say some kind of threshold value. So if we are going to reach to that threshold value, means uh, that node could become cluster head for that, right? So this thing depend purely on the skills or uh, that programmer basically wants to do, right? So a programmer set this thing, and it talks about that, okay, the amount of energy that need to be spent for transmission of packet, right? So there could be, if you remember, there are different energy consumption criteria, like for computation is there, right? If you remember, and like for transmission is there, radio transmission, right? Radio receiving, and when it is idle, right? For computation, right? For analog to digital conversion, right? So all those things are considered, and according to that, we have considered, okay, if we have an average of that, so this much of amount of energy is being consumed by a single node every round, right? Now what we will do, we will set the uh, parameters. We will then define the equations that is based on the routing protocol which we are talking about. Now in this case we are saying the leech protocol. So if you remember, in leech protocol, what we have uh, the sensor field with number of clusters, and each cluster have a cluster head along with the cluster members. So members are interested in transmitting the packets, and cluster head is interested in collecting all that packets. So that is the role, right? So they are being classified in this manner. The cluster head will collect the packet, and then have an aggregation of that data, right? And after aggregation of that data, what it will do, it will transmit that packet particularly to the sink. What it means? It means that uh, data delivery, that delivery of sensor physical quantity from the individual sensor now could be able to reach to the sink. So collection of data could be done in this manner, right? So it depends upon the approach that we are trying to use, right? So you can see over here that every cluster will maintain a cluster head, and cluster head will then set up a connection with their members, right? By sending a beacon signal to all its members that yes, I am a sink I am a cluster head for this cluster, and you can send me the packet, right? And then cluster head responsibility is to collect the packet and then transmit the data to the sink. So that is the complete process of one round. This is one round. We call it the completion of one round, right? Till the collection, then transmitting it to cluster head, then cluster head will perform some kind of data aggregation or data fusion techniques, and then there could be the delivery of packet to the sink. Till then, that completes a single round. Now that single round will be in a loop, right? So it is not like the setup will get completed, or in a one round only the entire energy will consume, right? So all the nodes combined energy is known as the average network, right? Energy consumption, right? The total energy consumed, all the considering in a cumulative manner, that all nodes has participated in transmission, right? And what will happen that they have might consume some joule of energy for that purpose, right? So if we combine all that sensor node consumption energy together, that will become the average power consumption for that round, right? If we consider all the rounds together, then we can have the average network power consumption, right? In that manner. So that is the point, right? And further for advancement, you can see that once I will start this code, you will find that how the graph will design over here. Yes. So this is how the graph is designed by the simulation. And you can see the red dot in the middle of this is talking about the sync node, right? Here, this is the sync node, and all the sensors are deployed randomly. So their X and Y uh, coordinators are randomly considered, and then we just taken the bubble, right? This particular dot, you can see this bubble dot, right? So this will be shown visible at that coordinator. So nothing else. These are the X and Y coordinators, right? So for this, we have different X value, Y value. So this is the center value that we have for the, just hold on, for this sync, that is 50 and 50, right? I just want to check to be able to see the screen, right? So once I have started with this, now you can see on the screen that the sensor field which we discussed right now, which we have designed in the previous slides. So you can see the same, in the same manner, we have this X and Y, right, graph. So over here it is Y and this is your X graph with this 0 to 100 value. From 0 to 100 we have on this X axis and Y axis, and we randomly deployed the sensors, and in the middle of it we have the sync node, right? This sync node, right? No, so idea of node centric approach is that we have to design in a manner that we can able to analyze the node bandwidth, individual node bandwidth, right? We can able to analyze individual node, or you can say the power consumption, energy consumption, how they are behaving in this manner, right? And we can able program them, right? We can increase their energy consumption, we can decrease it depending upon the strategies that we would like to apply over here, right? So you can see the graph. This demography basically talks about that how in the beginning all the sensor node maintain that energy level, right? So you can see the energy level over here till round 15 to just consider it 1700, right? I'm just taking assumption over here. So up to 1700, you can see 1700 rounds, these nodes are not involved in any kind of, right? You can see this much degradation, right? So all the 100% nodes are alive, right? Not a single node is dead till this 15 to the range of that 15 to 1700 in middle. You can see over here there is a downfall over here, right? So you can find this spark lines is basically degrading, dipping down, right? In a sense, with the increase in number of rounds, right? So as we increase the number of round, and which basically leads to the consumption of energy, means some kind of joule is being consumed in every round, right? So you can see clearly over here till 1500 or to 1600 round, there is no node involved in that. That node energy is completely exhausted, or that node is dead, right? All nodes are working fine and they are having energy level is fine, and not a single node has been died till over here, right? But soon after this, you can find that once it reach to this range, once this thing reach to this range, nodes start degrading. That means that this spark line going down, right? And there is a sharp dip over here. Now what it signifies? It signifies us that yes, here this is the kind of stability, break in stability, right? So there is a breakdown over here, and this period is basically known as stability period till here. And stability of this protocol is up to 1600 rounds, right? We can say this thing, right? And there will be soon a dip after 1700 round, and you will find that the graph is going down to the lowest till 1400, right? So 1400 round. So this is the total time till that. Now suppose consider a round as 1 second or 1 minute or 1 hour, depending, right? So you can clearly state this thing that okay, for 1500 minutes there is a stability period for this protocol. So means for this much time of hours, right? The nodes which are deployed, not a single node is dead, right? Till this much of time. So that will become the stability period for that particular routing protocol for which we are talking about, right? It could be anyone, right? Based on the approach, we will write the equations, right? And depending upon that equations, then the energy consumption will take place, right? And according to that, we having a different graph for the different routing techniques, right? Some are following different approaches, and some are considering like this. We are having cluster based, right? Some are having interhop routing. Some are having different like geographical location based routing protocol. If you remember, GAIR protocol, right? So this is what it is talking about, the consumption. Now looking to the next graph over here, you can see that leech protocol is considering this much like transmission. This is for transmission, right? So this much of transmission is taking place. Just hold on. The screen get disappeared, right? So this much of transmission has taken place with the help of 100 nodes when it is deployed on the leech network, right? This is one of the approach which we are using for MAC protocol. Please remember, this is a kind of MAC protocol, right? And which is time division multiplex, TDMA based, right? So talking about the next graph, you can see over here, it is talking about the energy consumed per transmission. Yes. So this is the graph, that is the energy which is in Joule, and it is talking about the nodes transmission in the X parameter and energy in Y parameter. So depending upon that transmission, right, it is talking about the energy which is consumed, right? So we can see we have the graph of nodes, operational nodes per transmission, right? Now looking to the next in this class or category, you can see over here. Yes. So let's talk about the next is the Pegasus protocol, right? The famous protocol out of after Leech, and we have seen in theory that the Pegasus protocol is much more power efficient as compared to Leech protocol, right? So let's see, let's check it out. by performing the simulation. Now, you can see over here that again we have set the variables like the behavior they are basically actually doing, right? So we are having a number of nodes, 100, and then we are having some of energy required to receive the data from a node, right? So we have named it with different name. Otherwise, in the leech, you have seen we have used energy for transmission, energy for receiving. Similarly, energy required to send a data unit to some distance, that parameter or that variable is defined over here. Then we will make use of them depending upon the distance it is going to uh, transmit the data, right? So every coordinator will be having, or you can see every node is having some coordinates, that is x and y, and we can find the distance between these 2 points. So if we have the distance formula, right? So what we can do is we can find, we can subtract it from the x minus the sensor node 1 to x of sensor node 2, right, divided by the same way. So what we can have, we have a line set up, right, from point 1 to another point. Consider it as a point, right? Sensor node, which you have just seen, a point which is in coordinate of x and y. Similarly, one more point in another coordinates of higher value of x and y. Then you can see there will be a, we can able to establish a line between these two coordinates, and then we can easily find the distance. Now, based on that distance, we can multiply the energy consumption, right? As we have said that energy for transmission is directly proportional to the square of the distance, right? So that is what it is saying, talking about this distance, the square of this, right? And that too based on some considered value distance, that is d naught. Now, if that distance is more than d naught, then what we are saying that it will not be square, it will be 4 times, right? So it will be d4, not d2, right? So you can see over here we have used this method where we are saying that they based on the distance, we are saying that more energy consumption will be, and according to that we are just going to evaluate the consumption for every round, right? And based on that there could be we have that matrix created, and based on that then again we can create the demography. Now you can see in this particular demography, right, we have a sensor nodes. In this demo, you can see the sensor nodes which are deployed, right, and one after another, after certain period of time, since it is running with that round, right, round 1, round 2, round 3, and after certain amount of time, you will find that nodes are turning from blue to yellow and from yellow to red. What it signifies that their energy is being degraded and becoming nil. So it means that sensor node is going to die after certain amount of time or after certain amount of consumption of right or transmitting the packet. So when a sensor node will transmit a packet, then energy will be consumed, right? So we are saying that in that manner, that sensor node will collapse and no energy is left with that sensor node. Right, class, we are left with only 1 minute. So I just want you that if you have any doubt, you can ask. Right, I'm running out of time. So we will continue this thing in the next lecture. Right, stay focused, and if you have any doubt, you can ask. I repeat. Yes, for your attendance, you just write your attendance. That is already done, I think, right?